gave my husband an ultimatum. Either he cuts off his late wife's family, or we call off the wedding and go our separate ways. I'm 27, marrying my fiancé who's 31. His first wife died at 24 from sepsis after a botched weight loss surgery. They were high school sweethearts, together from 16 until she passed. I met him 3 years later and he was completely honest from our second date. He still visited her family monthly, spent full days with them on her birthday in June, their anniversary in October, and the day she died in February. Her dad and 2 sisters, now 21 and 26, were like his second family. At first, it really bothered me. There was so much history they shared that we'd never have. I'd see photos of them at family dinners, my fiancé with his arm around her dad, and feel invisible, like I was competing with a ghost. But I loved him and spent 8 months in therapy working through it. By year 2, I was completely secure. He was building a future with me. When he proposed last March at the restaurant where we had our first date, I cried for 20 minutes. We set the wedding for November 12th, booked a barn venue for 150 people, sent save the dates in June. Everything was perfect until August. I'd been trying new coffee shops and walked into this place before my hospital shift. His late wife's younger sister worked there. We'd met twice at his birthdays but barely spoke. She took my order for an iced latte and seemed normal until she saw my engagement ring on the counter. A 1.2 carat oval diamond he saved 6 months for. Her whole face changed, went dark and disgusted. I grabbed my coffee and left. That night he came home stressed. He finally admitted she sent him 17 Instagram messages asking about my ring. That's when I learned he never told them we got engaged. 5 months in complete secret. I was furious and humiliated. He apologized, said he didn't want to hide me but didn't want to hurt them either. Promised to tell them that weekend. I believed him. 1 week later, Sunday morning at the grocery store, I got an Instagram message from the older sister. 5 paragraphs. She said I should be ashamed trying to replace her sister, that I'd never measure up, that if his late wife was alive, he'd choose her over me every time. Then it got vicious. She wrote he only kept me around for my 90K nurse salary since he makes 45K at his gym, and I was just something for him to use when he got lonely. I sat in my car reading it 3 times. Those were insecurities I'd already worked through. Having them weaponized felt like a punch to the gut. I showed him that night. He was horrified. Immediately called her. I heard him through the door saying she crossed a line, and if she contacted me again, he'd cut her off. He held me while I cried and promised I'd never hear from them again. 3 days later, I walked out of the hospital at 11 p.m. after a 12-hour shift. Found my car destroyed in the parking lot. All 4 tires slashed to the rims. Both windows shattered. Grave robber spray painted in red across the driver's side. I'd saved 18 months for that Lexus. Put $47,000 down, only 7 months of payments made. I called him sobbing. We filed a report with hospital security who pulled camera footage. Grainy, but showed a silver Honda Civic circling my car at 2 a.m. Caught a partial plate ending in 7J4, the younger sister's car. I'd seen it at his birthday in May. I told him I'm going to the police. He begged me to wait, let him talk to them first. I said no, but I'd hold off if they paid the $400 in damages and apologized to my face. He set up a meeting Tuesday at a diner. I thought just the younger sister. Both sisters showed up with their dad. The younger one said she had nothing to apologize for. The older sister said I should leave their family alone, including my fiancé. Their dad sat silent. He defended me, voice shaking, said it wasn't fair to expect him alone forever. The older sister screamed he was betraying her sister, that he never really loved her if he'd marry someone else. The younger one said they didn't mind him dating because they figured he'd realize no one compared. Now that he's marrying me, they're stopping it. She stared at him and said, "Tell her we're right. Tell her you'll never love anyone like you loved my sister." He broke down crying right there at the table. I grabbed his arm and pulled him out. Told them I'm filing a police report and suing. We'll see them in court. We drove home silent. Inside, I said either they go or I do. Complete no contact or we call off the wedding. He called their dad that night. Their dad defended his daughters, said I was controlling and cutting them off was cruel after 15 years. It's been 48 hours since my ultimatum. They're texting every hour. The older sister calls me a homewrecker. The younger one says I trapped him. Now their uncle and grandmother are messaging me worse things. I'm not blocking anyone, gathering evidence for a restraining order. He still hasn't given me his answer.